We're live.
Hey, guess what? It's Jess the Ska Kid. We're at Palace Day Shilarino, and on the phone with us this evening is the Ska-Walkers from New Jersey. Hello, guys.
Hello. Hello.
So, quick introductions. Give us your name and what you do in the band.
Sure. This is Steve. I play guitar. Dan, why don't you go next?
I'm Dan, I play trombone. And I'm Rick, and you
And who isn't on the phone with us tonight that people will be able to see in the video we're going to play?
So tonight we do not have William, who plays trumpet, Dave on bass, Rob on guitar, and Eric on drums.
And you guys are from where in New Jersey, so that those watching kind of can be like, oh, I know that.
We are from the wonderful town of Lane, New Jersey. 19 miles from New York City.
Awesome. And how long have you guys been a band?
I think we're coming up on a year in July.
So when we played Skaters World, and I know that previously, I think last year-ish, we played Rude Girl. We read your little bio, and you said that you take a lot from 90s sounding ska. I would have to say that is very accurate and true to form. Why did you pick that specific genre, and how did you form your sound?
Sure, I'll go first and I'll let the other two guys answer. So we picked the 90s because that's when we got into ska. And I think more specifically, both of those songs are written in 1998. So I think that's why it captured the sound pretty well. What do you think, Dan?
Oh man, I remember when we wrote those. What a world it was then.
So
rock and roll every weekend.
So then you negated to give us some history, because you said you've been around for a year, but if you wrote those back in the 90s, was there a period of time you were a band, disbanded, and now are back? Or give us the history of a little bit and an understanding of, past to present.
Okay, so yeah, that makes sense. So basically when we were in high school, so me, Rich, Dan, Eric, and Rob, we all went to high school together. We were not in the SkaWalkers. We were in various other bands that had various names like Framing OJ, Ska Sing Amy, Public Access, not the good Public Access from New York, our own version of it. And we were big into ska. Wayne actually had two places where you could see ska shows every weekend. The first one was Skaters World, we can get into that if you want, and the other one was the Wayne's Firehouse. Mm-hmm. We had some pretty big bands come through. I think the Toasters played there 4 or 5 times. But for me, my favorite band was Right Turn Eddie, or the NC-13s, who are actually from Pennsylvania. And basically, we wrote all these songs. The band, I think, the last ska band disbanded around 2003. And then I don't think any of us were really in a band together until about 2015. Me and Rich started a band called Rivers for Eli, which was not ska. And then that broke up, and we started a band called the Fashion Zombies. And then that broke up, and then after that one broke up, I reached out to a bunch of people and said, hey, we should put together a ska band and record all the songs we used to write. And that's basically how this band got started.
Very cool. Battling allergies, excuse me. So, with that being said, how did you come up with the name SkaWalkers? Because everyone we've told has been like, that's awesome because it's like Star Wars. So give us a little bit of background on that name.
Star Wars.
Sure. So we were going through band name after band name. And the one thing we did come in common was we wanted the word ska in it. And then our other guitar player, Rob, said we should be Chewy in the SkaWalkers. So we basically threw out the Chewy part and just kept the SkaWalkers. And then I was like, hey, it's kind of like the shoes, so we can do it either way. We can be really nerdy and be about Star Wars, or we can be really ska and say it's about the shoes.
Ah, look at that. See? You learned something new. The most important question of the night was answered. So that kind of being said, having formed again now, and having played previously in different groups, would you, is there a difference playing music back then than there is now? Is it easier to book shows now and sell this platform as a 90s ska band, or, kind of give us the atmosphere of from then to now?
Yeah, I'll just take that one.
That was 4.
Oh man, then to now, like when we were kids, there wasn't an issue. We had friends that had house parties. We'd play in their basements. We would play in the local places. And then 15 years go by, and now we all are quote unquote grown-ups and families and kids and stuff. And so from a booking aspect, I can't say because I never really dealt with it. But I think that the biggest change from then to now is just that, life is different. So we have a lot more experience to draw from for everything that we do.
Now,
And I would also just add to that, it was more of a scene back then too. I feel like Steve said, we had Skaters World, we had the Firehouse. There were shows every Saturday night. Lots of big bands. So it felt like more of a scene, and we're hoping that the ska scene comes back and goes strong. It's just as strong as it was back in the 90s.
Yeah, I would say the biggest difference is all the ska shows of all ages. And I feel like now, and maybe it's just we're old and it'd be weird if we were showing up to all ages shows. They're all at everything's at a bar. There is no more like Legion Hall or, like they were saying house show or even at a lower rank. Everything's at a bar now.
do you think that is of a deficit to trying to rebuild some sort of scene?
I don't think so. I think if they were able to build a scene back up the same way we had it, I think it all starts with people who are like 14, 15, 16 being a band. I don't think you're going to get it from a band like us, but we used to book the shows ourselves. It was very DIY, and I think if you ever bring that attitude back, it would show up again in an instant.
And so now what is booking like for you guys? I mean, you are, relatively close to New York. Are you primarily playing in New Jersey, or are you kind of doing weekend warrior tours where you're going and playing in surrounding areas?
Rich, you want to take that one?
Yeah, so we've been playing mostly in Jersey, all different towns down the shore, the Jersey Shore. We've been in Asbury Park, and we have something coming up in the city. So right now it's mostly Jersey, a little New York, but we'll be going around other places too. Pennsylvania is close by. That's the one thing that's good about the East Coast. I mean, a drive for you from one side to Wisconsin to the other side of Wisconsin is probably just as long as it takes for us to get to like Washington D.C. or going up to Massachusetts. So we can hit all different states, and we'll get there just because there's so many of us also and finding the time. But that's what we'd like to do.
And as far as a ska scene currently, because we've had a couple bands from the East Coast, but the few that we've talked to have all said that it's, a lot of different music and that there isn't so much ska. So what is your take when you go and you play a show? Are there other ska bands that we should know about, or are you playing mixed genre shows where it's primarily punk and you're the off-ball ska band that got thrown on?
No, every show we've played, the whole bill has been ska. So we've played with our good friends, Carnival of Shadows. They're a great band from Asbury Park. We've played with Idify a couple of times. I believe they're from the Montclair area. We played with one Pennsylvania band, Thinks Constant.
Ooh, yeah.
We've played with the Upfucks.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're from the Asbury Park area also. We played with Molly Rhythm. I feel like I'm missing someone, but every bill we've played, it's been 4 or 5 ska bands on the bill. Jersey's got quite a few. I mean, we also have Joker's Republic. We got Backyard Superheroes. So I would say there's about 10 to 12 Jersey bands that are constantly doing something.
So then for these offshoots that we've kind of talked to that don't seem to know how to connect, what do you say would be the best way to kind of start to bring more folks together so that, you know, more inclusivity can be accomplished?
I think it's all Facebook nowadays. There's no one you can't find on Facebook. You have to really be trying not to find someone.
So this kind of then brings me to another question. When you guys, who primarily books to begin with?
I've been the touring manager at this point, this is Steve.
So Steve, when you're booking things, are you seeking out venues first to try to get a foot in the door? Or are you going through connections with other bands to try to get on a bill? Or how does the booking aspect of things for your band work?
So I went with bands first. So we were lucky enough to be on the comp, What Do You Know About Ska Punk Volume 3?
Mm-hmm.
And basically I reached out to Justin, who basically put that together, and I said, hey, send me a list of all the New Jersey bands. I'm going to try to put a bunch of shows together. And then basically from that list, reached out to everyone via Facebook, and we found some common dates, and then just reached out to some local bars around here that we know do ska night every once in a while, and was able to plug it all in.
And are you?
But it's a lot of work.
I believe that is a lot of work. With that kind of being said, do you have a goal at all to try to like go on tour? Is that ever a possibility, or will you just stay East Coast?
I'm not going to ever rule it out. I think, I can speak for myself. I'm 37. I got 2 kids and a full-time job. I think getting 7 people to band practice is a logistical nightmare for us, let alone get 7 people to go on a 2-week tour around the country. I think I'm hoping one day we can do like a week and just go up and down the East Coast or see how far out west. I've always wanted to play Chicago, so I think it'd be pretty cool to get all the way out there.
What's the appeal to play in Chicago?
Oh, you guys have the firehouse. It's legendary.
I've never heard of that venue.
You've never heard of the firehouse? Really?
Yeah, I've never heard of it, and everyone sitting here just made faces like, what?
That's like a chain.
Like a bowling alley.
Like the fire side.
Every cool band, like slapstick used to play there.
No.
Oh, see.
Wow, egg on my face.
No, I don't, like, you know, right now, Chicago is constantly, I would say, in flux. Venues have been closing all over the place. Milwaukee and Chicago that had a large scene, a lot of those venues are all dying off and closing down. So, I mean, we might not have heard of it because I don't know if it exists, but I will definitely look into it.
I sure have. And I've never been there.
You've heard of it?
Yes, I've never been there.
Slapstick used to play there, they said.
Yeah, the handful DVD.
See, I'm also like stuck, I guess, in Kenosha, and only really logistically because of transportation, we'll say. So that.
Isn't Kenosha home to the Trail Sprewell?
The what?
The Trail Sprewell, the basketball player. Are you from Kenosha?
Mark Ruffalo.
I'm like, I don't know. Now you're saying another thing I don't know. Look at all these things I need to look up now. I don't know anything about basketball.
Cheers. No, happy days.
I know about ska though.
Todd Day from the Bucks is from here, but
I do have to say that Chicago has a really growing scene as far as new ska bands.
Cheers.
So there's that. I know that. So if you're doing all of the booking and that sort of thing as well, you know, you said it's kind of a logistical nightmare. Is anybody else in any other bands currently, or is this everybody's main project?
This is pretty much everyone's main project.
And how often are you guys getting together to practice?
Rich, you want to answer that?
Yeah, so we try to get together about once a week. It doesn't always work out again. 7 of us we all have our own lives and kids and stuff like that. So once a week we try to get together, but yeah.
So I've heard now a few of you mention that you have children, and that kind of seems to be an ongoing theme. As we all get older, it seems that we've reproduced, there are children and families involved, and so how supportive are your families in your musical endeavors, and do you include your children in your music?
Great question. I would say that, at least for my family, they're very supportive. We literally have a music room in the house. I've actually had my son at practice a couple of times. I think being supportive of dad playing music is very different than dad going on tour.
Mm.
How do you?
We're going to work.
And then,
Yeah, I mean,
go on.
I was just gonna say, yeah, my family, they're very supportive too. And I mean, my little 4-year-old, she'll listen to the music. She jams her hands. So I mean, she has fun with it too. She's like, "Daddy, is that you?" And then I'll be listening to another ska dance for that. She's like, "Daddy, is that you?" And no, man, I mean, she's like, "Oh, you're good." I'm like, "Oh, thanks, I'm alright." So it's fun. It's fun to do get around. They're also motivation for the song. So I mean, I know not in this band, but the last band, they will one day will bring it out. But writing the songs out, your kids is also good motivation for songs.
Mm-hmm. And so this kind of ties into another question then. Who primarily is responsible for writing music, or do you all contribute together? Does somebody come and say, "Oh, I have this really cool riff," and you work around it and collaboratively come up with something? Or is somebody kind of assigned to, "I'm making this music, you guys play it"?
I wouldn't say it's that drastic, but I would say I'm the main songwriter. I like to come in with a song, I'll say 80%, and then Rich a lot of the times will write the lyrics. Dan writes the horn line, so it's a collaborative effort, but given, I think, the way we work, it's good to have a song in a pretty good spot, and then it's kind of just polishing it up together as a band.
So then, Rich, where do the lyrics come from? What is your muse?
So you know what? I just love to write. A lot of times I just store things. A lot of times I'll just hear a song that Steve writes. He'll write the guitar, and he'll give maybe like a word or so sometimes, and then I'll go off of that, and then I write a song that goes off of it. So and I just take things from life. I try to the lyrics I write. I try to make the things that people relate to. Usually things that happen to me or friends or just life in general. So yeah, it's just fun to write.
Do you have, I mean, like, I have been able to find you on Bandcamp and various other platforms, but I think you only have the 2 songs posted. Is there anything in the works as far as an album is concerned?
Dan, you want to answer that one?
Do I want to answer that one? Is there an album coming? I'd like to hope there's an album coming. But getting to practice and then doing studio time and trying to play out. I mean, I think it's down the road. I don't think anybody has any immediate plans to make it happen in any short period of time, but I think definitely down the road they'll have a full-length record out.
And with that, will you do it like all yourselves, or do you have a place in mind that will do your recording for you, or are you, primarily like, we do everything ourselves?
No, I think for something like this, you should always get someone to do it. As someone who's recording an album for a band himself, you don't realize how much time goes into mixing and mastering and tweaking and dealing with all the things that need to be, re-looked at and re-recorded. It is also good to have another set of ears kind of tell you if something's sounding good or something's sounding bad. Mm-hmm. And then last what I found, when you go someplace, you can focus on like your performance, not how does everything sound and did this work or did that work. I totally recommend for anyone in a band, it's cool to record your own stuff, but you should always try to go to a studio once because it's a totally different experience.
And, you know, that as well being said, you guys, I'm amazed, took it upon yourselves to record a video and send it to us, which I'm stoked because we figured out how we're going to play it for people to watch. But where was that recorded? And, you know, what you are so far the only ones who have done that. So what made you want to do that?
So that was recorded where we had band practice. They have a stage room. So we thought it'd be pretty cool to basically film it there. And we thought it'd be like the best spot because all the other rooms are like these 8x8 squares. What made us do it? Yeah, like coffins with mirrors. What made us do it? Dave told us he wouldn't let us on the show unless we did it. So kudos to Dave.
That's funny. Only because it's not that I wouldn't have let you on. We just would have had to only play the 2 songs that you have up and available. I love that you took it upon yourselves to do that because, you know, it's always fun doing this and working with different people each week, seeing, you know, what else they want to bring to the show. And so that kind of adds another oomph to us. And it's fun because now we get to see what you guys are like, you know, for this, which is really neat. So thank you.
They've also really stepped up the game for everybody
You
else.
stepped up the game, guys. You did it. So kudos.
Boom. Yeah.
So, you know, upcoming, what upcoming shows do you have? And, you know, anything you want to plug?
Sure. We got in 2 weeks we're playing in Bayonne, New Jersey with I Define and Disposable. At the end of July, I think 28th, we're playing in New York City at Desmond's Tavern. They're still waiting to hear back who the other band's playing with us. And then in July, we're actually, I don't know if you guys ever heard the band Pain from Alabama. They were a band, I think in the mid-2000s. Someone's making a tribute album for them, and we were fortunate enough to get put on that. So the last song we actually played in that set is the song Spindle Drone by Pain.
Very cool. And then, you know, looking into the fall and stuff, like how often are you guys playing out?
It's pretty much once a month.
And then that will be kind of your steady point?
I think for now. We'll see how it goes.
Is there anywhere that you would, you know, besides Chicago, is there anywhere that you would love to play? Like, if you could put your dream show together, where would it be and with whom?
Chicago.
Rich, why don't you go first? I think we should all answer that one. This would be interesting to hear.
Yeah, so I would love to play with, like, I guess going back to 90s bands, the bands that made us. I would love to play with, like, Les and Jake. I know Goldfish doesn't play anymore, but if they ever want to make a comeback, I'll play with them, the Aquabats. And honestly, I would love to play, I guess, overseas, like in London or somewhere in Europe or Germany. I feel like that's pretty kick-ass to play. Or Japan, that would be cool too. I think they're pretty good with their ska over there.
They are.
Phenomenal.
Who's next?
How about you, Dan?
My dream venue is Red Rocks, no question about it. And I would literally play with anyone there. I would even play to an empty, like just sneak in and play on the stage for 30 seconds would be enough for me.
Oh,
Just to say you stepped foot there?
Yeah, totally.
that's a mint venue.
I always like the Hippos. I would love to play a show with the Hippos. I thought they were the best.
And
You guys remember the Hippos?
yes. I remember the
Yeah.
So who's last at
So
answer?
It's funny you said that, Dan, because if I had to pick one show I had to recreate, I think it was the Hippos, the Ataris, and Catch-22 played at the main firehouse.
Ooh.
I think I would just recreate that show all over again.
That's
And be open from that?
That's
And yeah, we'd have to.
No, they opened for us, right?
Yeah. Except we wouldn't invite that weird guy who brought the vegan pretzels to get thrown at it again.
Vegan pretzels? Wait a second. I thought all
Yeah,
pretzels
it's a
were
bad
vegan.
scene. I felt so bad for the guy.
Eggs
There's eggs in pretzels?
No.
and butter.
No.
I thought pretzels were already vegan.
Fuck no.
I thought that's what Justin.
Vegetarian.
Okay.
Welcome to Wisconsin.
Egg wash.
Okay. Goodness, jeez, gosh.
Egg wash.
Vegan
You're learning a lot tonight, Jeff.
I know, that's, hey
It's
man.
Not often.
It's,
Not only does the show have music, it's educational.
it's supposed to be educational.
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 Everybody learns.
Ooh.
So did everybody answer?
Yes. Yeah.
No, Steve, did you answer?
Yeah,
you did. You're the last one. Okay.
Playing with the Wayne Firehouse, Catch 22,
Gotcha.
Atari, and Hippos.
So having done this for a little bit, what has been your guys' best show? And then conversely, what's been the worst show? It sounds like the vegan pretzel show.
You cook it over a fire at the fire.
I'll go first. I think for us it was kind of the same show, personally. So we played the Meat Locker in Montclair. And we played really good, except we ran out of songs, and people kept asking us for more songs, and we had no more songs. So we literally had to walk off the stage in shame.
Oh.
Oh. That sounds like a great
Wait, how long
workout
did you
thing,
play,
the
though?
meat locker.
Like 25 minutes. Our songs are too short.
That's still like a good set.
You know, yeah.
What do you think, Rich?
What we're gonna say about it? Yeah, they want some more. We gave them everything we had.
They should change.
Literally, they have started that chant.
I mean, like, so did you go back and learn more songs?
No, not really.
No.
We've added to the set since then.
Mm-hmm. How long has been your longest set?
How long is that video? 36 minutes?
We're the longest. So, did you have a? Kip has a question.
You should redo the Star Wars theme, but play it for 20 minutes, so you have like almost an hour set.
Ah, did you hear
I don't
that?
think we're talented enough for that. What do you think, Dan? Could you play the Imperial March?
Did you?
No, but we'll
It's
cut.
not the Star
Yeah,
Wars.
well, good.
We can definitely do it.
I mean, John Williams wrote that score, so you should be able to find it. You guys can read music, yeah?
Can any of us actually read music? I can't.
Wait, was
I can. I can read one note at a time. I used to.
What are all this? Is the spaces equal space, right? Something weird like that?
what?
Like there's the lines and then there's the spaces. And the notes within the spaces
Oh,
equal
look
the
at
space,
that.
right?
I'm
Yes,
sure there's
yes.
tablets are out there. It's easier to read.
See?
Yeah.
My third grade teacher taught me that. I did not know that up until this year.
Well, then this leads me to another good question. How long have you been playing said instrument, and what got you into playing it?
Ooh. Dan, why don't you go first?
Well, I'm a trained brass player in high school, and when I got to the jazz band, I switched to trombone and enjoyed it enough that nobody else did it, so I kind of became the defunct trombone player for all said ska bands, as previously mentioned.
How about you, Rich?
Yeah, so actually, when we first started playing, like back in high school, I was actually a trumpet player. So I did trumpet and all of that, so that's really where I started. And then by default, I just started singing also. So in this band, I was going to start playing the trumpet, and after 15 years of not playing, I realized I couldn't play it anymore. My lips couldn't do it. I just didn't play as well. So I started singing, and that's where I am here. I'm in this one now.
So, easy or hard to make a transition from, a woodwind brass instrument to a stringed instrument? Hello?
What was that question?
I'm sorry, our
Crickets.
14-year-old is behind us, like, making weird noises. Because we have kids, too. I said...
Do they like ska?
They do like ska. Actually, the one making weird noises...
He's picking it up.
He's picking it up. No, he got a shirt sent to us from Epic 18, which is a band from California. A ska band from California, and instead of like dressing up for his last picture day, he's like, "No, I'm wearing this shirt." So we were like, "Okay." So that's my question
That's awesome.
was for Rich. How easy of a transition from horn to what you do now was it?
Yeah.
It's pretty easy. I mean, again, lead singing. I mean, it's pretty easy. I just open my mouth and then go. So, yeah, not too much of a hard transition.
Except back to front, right?
What was that?
A showman. You get to be a showman now.
I do.
You're the face.
That's true. But even when I was playing Trump, I was always dancing around. I love Scott, so for me, the hardest part, like being lead singer, is trying to sing, and I just want to dance the whole time. I just want to move and go nuts. But then, obviously, I lose some with when I do that. So I guess that's also part of it. At least when I play trumpet, I could dance around when I wasn't singing and still be fine. But
So besides this show, have you guys reached out to anywhere else, any other sort of radio or music show platform to send your music to?
Only now we've done.
You're the first and only so far.
Really?
That's what they all say.
So, do you guys have
Well,
watched? Huh?
I was going to say, the truth is, you're the only one that would let us on, so that's what we'll bitch
After that's me.
Really? Well, I encourage you then to reach out to Josh, who does Viva Ska Radio,
Yes.
because he'd play your stuff. It does have to be on a CD, so burn those 2 songs and send it to him. He's in Vegas.
That's yeah.
All right.
West Coast.
And
That's for the right.
the Shadow Scene podcast is out of Tennessee. He would also play your stuff. Button Down Radio, which is a UK platform, you can email them your stuff. And so there's other platforms out there to get your voice heard, just so you know. I have to reclaim
Very cool,
myself
right?
a little bit. Do you guys, let's talk about that. For people who are tuning in and watching this interview, where can folks find the Ska-Walkers?
You can find us on Bandcamp at SkaWalkers.bandcamp.com, or you can look us up on Facebook, where we have our links to the Bandcamp site, as long as all the shows and songs we've posted on YouTube.
Do you have an Instagram account?
I think technically yes, but we probably have posted one photo so far.
What's the best medium for folks to reach you?
It's definitely Facebook. We're on it all along, at least one of us.
Did you have a question?
I was just curious because they said a lot of their original was all DIY. Is there any of that happened with a distributor at any point? I mean, to where...
Did you guys ever use a distributor for any of your music? Like CD Baby or anything? DistroKid?
This band, no, not yet. I think we're waiting for where we're going to put a full length out to go. The CD Baby route's usually pretty good. They get you on all the digital platforms. We did that with our last band, the Fashion Zombie.
And do it.
That's pretty easy. I think you pay them $70 and they get it everywhere.
Do you want to do something for free?
Well, who wouldn't want to do something for free?
I don't know, because everybody pays these distributors when you can post on all of these digital platforms yourself.
The real question is, do you want to give up your rights to your music?
We're into the educational side of our show, so
She's gonna learn you something.
we're really big. So as we've been doing this, and now our platform has become digital, we're finding that more and more people obviously utilize a distributor. and they pay somebody to be posted on platforms. So as I've done research myself, you yourself can post to like Spotify, iTunes, etc. by yourself, just like a distributor does. And you don't have to pay anything for it, and you maintain your rights and your royalties for all of your music.
Because why?
Because when you go through a distributor such as DistroKid or CD Baby, etc. ad nauseum, you lose your publishing rights. So like if you guys had gone through that with your other songs, our media would have been flagged. Sometimes it mutes it, sometimes it takes our videos down. Ads then run on the YouTube videos after we edit them, and the actual person who claims that copyright, like CD Baby, gets the money and not the band. So, when you get there, let us know and we'll tell you how to post yourself. You save
That's
money
good to know.
and you get all your shit.
Yeah, I like that.
Yes.
Now we're learning something.
Yay.
Yeah, that's easy.
So,
We're
Wealth of knowledge.
We're sharing back and forth.
for the record, DIY is back in effect.
DIY or die.
Right now.
Do you guys have merch available?
Not online, but when we're at the shows, we do sell shirts, stickers, buttons, and we hand out CDs for free.
Here's a question. If somebody who is listening to this was curious about either a shirt or a button or a sticker or anything like that that you offer, can they message you on Facebook and ask you and somehow get that?
Go for it. You'll either get me or Dave responding back to you.
And if you do have merch, can you take pictures and post them for #MerchMonday on our page? So we know what...
I would love to, Jeff, but you've already done that for us. It's everything we already sent you.
Yes, but it's different coming from you because the metadata gets filtered through a different way.
To you, not us.
Also, if you are...
Oh, see, I just learned something else. We would gladly do another Merch Monday.
There you go. Go, Kif.
Sawing a log here. Also, if you guys are at a local show, anywhere, even a local business, they have merch. You receive merch. You can post that as well.
Yep. So if there's bands that you want us to know about, feel free to take a picture and post it on our page too.
To the Ska Kid page.
Mm-hmm.
Or diners.
You got it.
Yay!
So,
So as we've kind of been doing this show, we have found through a few other bands that are, they're either south or they're west, etc. Mountain Time, we'll go with them because they're in the middle. There's a few bands that have partnered and have a sister band that they work collaboratively with. Is there a band that you guys work very closely with that helps cross promote you guys and helps do shows and make sure that people show up and things? Or is it just kind of you're all on your own independent?
I would say we're pretty much on our own. I think the one band, and Randy, the lead singer of Carnival from Shadows, we've probably worked the most with. He's booked shows we've played, and we've traded and done a bunch of stuff that way.
So is there we had a band from Maryland kind of tell us that the scene out their way is very competitive and that they don't feel as if that platform would work. Do you feel like that is something that happens in New Jersey, or is it fairly inclusive and, that would just be another avenue to explore?
I found everyone pretty friendly. I'm gonna be honest, no one's ever told us no, they couldn't play a show unless it was already booked. No one's not offered us a show because they think we're bad people. I would love to hear from this band from Maryland why people are telling them no. At some point, that's kind of one of the cool things about running a show is if you can get an out-of-state band, it's something you can trade back, right? How else are you going to get a show in Maryland?
That's kind of what my argument was. And it didn't seem to be well received because there seemed to be this competition mentality. And I said, you don't win a concert, and it wasn't taken well.
Yeah, no, that's not, we played with the band Sphinx Constant. They're a great example of this. They're from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, which is probably 2.5 hours from us. They drove up to where we live and played a show. They offered us a show by them. I've seen them play with the Pandemics in New York City. They just played another show in Boston, trading shows. So honestly, if you could trade shows, you could play in any state. I've never met someone say no to that. I guess if you want to call it offer.
That's.
But if you give their name, I would love to play in Maryland. We can probably swap shows.
Yeah. Well, I will encourage you then.
And other states too. So if anyone's listening that wants to swap shows, let's do it.
Yeah.
So I know that, you said that doing a tour for a week is kind of a logistical nightmare, at least right now. Are you part of any, Facebook groups? There's one on Facebook called Touring Ska Bands. Are you part of that to help, try to attract different bands to your area so you can help with booking? And do that?
I believe Dave's on there. Dave's reached out to a whole bunch of people, I think, through that group.
Good. Yay. And I know the pandemic's just put together this giant list of, all these ska bands. Did you see that?
I saw his post. I didn't get a chance to read through it.
Okay. I would read through it to see if your name's on there, and if not, throw your contact info, because that's what he's trying to do, too, is create this, spreadsheet so that, hey, I want to book in Texas, or hey, this band from Texas wants to come up here.
Basically a contact list for everybody.
So, Chris has taken it upon himself to make this massive spreadsheet.
Yeah, and there's another example. I don't know where this competition thing's coming from. I know when we first started, I reached out to Chris and I said, hey, did you ever put out a vinyl record before? And he basically walked me through half the process. So I'm actually quite shocked to hear that someone feels there's competition on the East Coast.
Maybe they're just very pretentious.
Maybe
they just want to crush everything.
And maybe they're really good.
Well,
maybe they practice.
That does come with
Maybe they're so good that their egos have caught up with them.
well, so
We don't have egos. We're all old and jaded.
Yeah.
If you like picking,
Are they older than 30? Because
At least I am.
I'll encourage you to go back and watch that show. We can talk offline. But it was just interesting because out of everybody we've met, regardless of genre, they were really the only ones that were like, no! And we were like, okay, never mind. But that being said, we're getting close to the top of the hour, so I want to real quick, just again for those who've just tuned in and are watching, we're talking with the Ska-Walkers from Wayne, New Jersey, and I want you guys real quick to plug again where people can find you online and upcoming shows and the merch that you have.
Sure, you can find us online at SkaWalkers.bandcamp.com. You can find us on Facebook. We got t-shirts and stickers and buttons for sale. You can just message us through Facebook. And our next show is going to be in Bayonne on June 15th, and it's entitled Not Your Father's Day Show.
Oh, I love it! Who's playing that with you?
And that is us, Idify, and the Disposables.
Very cool. And hopefully new music in the works at some upcoming point, yes?
In the works, yeah, we'll go with that.
That's all you have to say. You can put it in ellipses, and then there's no defined time.
It will come out as fast as it took Axl Rose to make Chinese Democracy.
Ooh. I didn't thought that
Virtual
went over the
high
head. That was
five.
perfect, yes. Fucking A.
So I very much appreciate you guys coming on the show. Do you have anything in closing you'd like to add?
I don't. I want to thank you, Jess, for having the show. I think it's cool that you help local bands try to get their name out there. And it sounds like you got some of your own stuff you're doing out there, like the outdoor shows on Sundays. So it's cool just to see people who enjoy ska still get to do ska and keep it rolling.
Thanks for wanting to do this, because it really is people like you. It's like PBS. Support from viewers like you that makes this happen. Yes, Mike?
Also, they never said you should head over to the SkaWalkers page and give a like, a share, and a follow.
Yep, like, share, and follow the Ska-Walkers.
do it.
Do that now.
Do it now.
Well, the
It's
force
just
is
really
not-
easy
Yeah,
to
do
do
it.
that.
Good now.
Thank you again, guys. I'm super stoked because we figured out how we're going to show this video. And again, once everything's done, we'll edit it and send it your way, and then you can post it on your stuff as well. and I encourage you afterwards to release that video on your YouTube too, because it's really cool, and I'm thankful that you did it.
Anytime, it was our pleasure.
Thank
no
you,
to
guys.
distributors. Sorry.
Thanks.
Thank
Good night,
you.
Kenosha.
Good night, Ska-Walkers from New Jersey. And we're going to say goodbye to you and take a short break and get set up to play your video you sent us.
Awesome.
Okay?
Awesome. So everyone, have
Bye.
a great night.
Bye.
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 Okay, thanks, bye.
That was the Ska-Walkers from Wayne, New Jersey. After a short break, we're going to play the live video that they sent us, which is super cool because it's going to be like in our basement, but at their practice space. And so they were kind of really into it with setting up a new sort of thing for us to do. So I'm excited. It'll be like Jess the Ska Kid meets Wayne's World meets Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Meets Beavis and Butt.
New and improved Party on Wayne. Party on
And so again, you can find them. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on Bandcamp. You can find them on YouTube. Go ahead. I think they're also on SoundCloud. Just go ahead, like, share, follow, etc. They do have merch. We've posted it in our Merch Monday photo album because they sent us a shirt, buttons, and
Even their
stickers.
delivery bag, like the package had their logo on it.
That's
Which was
awesome.
really cool.
So
That's branded.
very
Well, they're bougie as fuck. They can cross states in like 2 hours, so.
That's true. It's easier
I mean, we
than
can
here.
cross states in like 30 minutes, bud.
Not one.
Only one.
One.
They got a
They have
circumference.
several,
They got a
If
circumference.
you go really fast across the lake, you might be able to make it to
That's what
Michigan.
the ferry is for.
Yeah, you go up
2
north
hours.
a few
Yep.
hours, you go butt fuck Idaho.
So,
So with that, we're going to take a short break. Be right back with the Ska-Walkers from New Jersey. Okay?
thanks.
Bye.
That one.